Okay, guys, back with you here on the 24th of October here, Thursday, early afternoon. So, polling request by the yen. Dollar yen had a little surge here, so that actually is it's got the highest vote total. Now, okay, so I'm out here. This is a 3-day. We've looked at this before, right? So the 4-year trend here, the impulse is hard to miss. So if that's a 1 off of the low, and we're trying to get a 2 to go in. So just looking at it here, yeah, sure. Of course, it would have been nice if we just had the ABC here to the 50 and off we went. But it does just, boy, this is certainly not impulsive. So the correction continues on. So just using standard measurement here, looking for the golden zone. We're trying to get some. That's not what I want. I want this. We're trying some sort of a 3-wave to get us down here for the 2. Now we've gone into some great complexity here. So at this point, well, here, let me pull this off. So looking here, you can kind of do this 2 ways. Just looking at all the pivots down here makes me want to pay attention here. Clearly, this isn't a level that's important to the market. So I kind of look left. It's nothing absolutely perfect. And you could draw this. You could, if you wanted to get all these highs, you get that little pivot here. So we're getting everything. So I'm using this high and this high. Yeah, sure, we have the break here, but look how consistently now that's been tested as support. So what this is starting to look like, well, if I take this off and we just draw it, look at it this way, it looks more like we've got a descending triangle here, which, of course, we can't have a triangle in the second, but we can have an X here. So this, I'm starting to think this is what we've got, because we just can't get, you can't get an impulse anywhere in here. It's just not there. So what you're stuck with is the potential that what we've got here is an A, B, C, D going for the E before we head down to complete that there. That's what I think we've got. So here, so this would still be the A, B, C into the A. So I'd have to label it this way. We'd have to go A, B, C, D. Now we don't have the E yet. Anticipating that to come down, so we can go. Oh, here, let's go up a degree. Okay, so it looks kind of like that's where we're headed. Now, recognize you've got the Fed statement coming on Wednesday, and that's going to create volatility, right? The market's anticipating they're going to cut for the 3rd time this year, right? It's pretty much baked in at this point. So, do you want to put on something fresh ahead of that? My suggestion would, I wouldn't, right? So nothing that, if you're trying to trade something longer term, you're out here even daily, right? So 3-day, of course, is very long term. But this is where this is where the money is made in FX, right? You've heard me say that many times. You want to be out here on this longer term. So the impact of the reaction as the market gets the news from the Fed won't be as dramatic looking at the chart, because we're pulled out so far. But even if we go down to the daily, and clean this up a little bit. Oh, fuck. Come here, trading view. Jesus. All right, so looks like you can make this case pretty well here. Now, so the kick, potentially now you could get a kick from the Fed statement and push you up here. That's a pretty good move. That's from 108 to 112, right? That's going to take a big move here. So for me, I would wait and see how does the market take whatever the Fed says and does. How does the market respond to that? Do we break this trend line? Are we breaking this trend line? The other thing is these have been really steep, right? So we're getting 786 here. With this broke, if I recall. No, this one got it right. Oh, Jesus. Here, let me clear this up so you guys can see that. All right, so do you see it here? I'm gonna try and tell you guys, right? So this is where you want the algos in FX, and they live out here on these longer time frames. So here's the swing. Here's the golden zone. Note, not the 618. It goes 65 to the tick, target to the tick. Right? And even, it's unbelievable. Look, it does it again. Golden zone, front run by a tick. Now, interestingly, here we go high, but look what we've done here. So you're looking at that algo target and going, God damn, man, they're sure wetting their beak there repeatedly. So if this is going back up again, Well, I don't know. It's not a bad idea to keep this swing on, but we'd have to go down here and use that. Now, as we get the full length of it here, we get a little break. So if we're coming back up, is that the lowest low? Yeah, maybe not. Let's get the absolute lowest low here. Boy, I sure would be paying attention if, and I have emphasis if we're coming back up here and we got the start of an ABC. Now remember, E wave notoriously will underthrow, so you might come up here to the 50 and then start, you'd have a target down here. But that would complete the X. So for me, let's go 3 hour. That looks like that's probably technical. So from our low, 50 to the tick. They're not to the target yet. Now here's the E way up here. I mean, it's just the amount, the number of times you'll see this algorithm in play and hitting targets on these longer term FX. Well, shit, it doesn't have to be long term. You go down to the 1 minute, you'll see the exact same thing. Right? It's just everywhere you look. Right? It is what moves the market. So here we go. So if this is so we'd be looking for an AB. We'd be looking for a pretty big C here. So if we're in here, you can kind of see it. So if there's an A here and a B here, we're looking for a big C. So even if we just kind of play that out, oh, damn it, come here. From this low to this low. All right, here's 100 of it. Here's the, we've been working on this a lot in the day trading room, right? In the futures markets, we're fairly certain there's an algo tied to this. So with this here as a contender for the AB going to the 1272 here, which would be a direct hit at the 50. So that, it seems like a stretch, but again, all I'm taking is the length of the A projected from my B low. There's the 1272. There is definitely some algorithmic activity tied to that. And then additionally, right, we can kind of tee the whole thing up, right? Just using our tool suite. There we go. So at this point, that the 80, so we have a perfect corner pocket here. I'm right on that. Am I right on it? Sometimes you can get a little askew here. Let's get right on it. That's on. You got to get them dead. Fuck. Got to get it right on there. Okay, let's pull back out. How do we look here? That looks solid. Bear with me, guys. I know it's a pain in the ass, especially when you move time frame. But I do this so that you do the same thing. Don't be sloppy with these. All right, so that looks okay. There we go. Everybody's right on it. Okay, so here, note here's the 100. So if we're gonna go up and get and realize our 80%, well, look what it's doing now. It's testing that lower that outside boundary here of the median lines. If we're gonna go up and get this, or go even further and get the 1272, boy, what a juicy looking short that would be. Now that doesn't mean sit there with a limit order. That means if you got a reaction either here or here, if you got a reaction, I'd be looking for the first retrace to get that. So this is one to be watching, but just be mindful of the fact that you're going to have huge volatility next week. Well, what's likely to happen is you might have a little, you'll have good shorter term trading going into it. So maybe tomorrow's a Friday, right? It's already, that's, as we talk about all the time in the day trading room, that you want to reduce size on Monday mornings and Friday afternoons, right? You tend to find the market is trendless at that point in time. And as trend establishes throughout the course of the week, so going into tomorrow, I don't know that you're going to see a lot of fireworks. And then likely with the Fed announcement on Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday could be just some chop and not strong trend, as the market will be holding to wait and see what happens there. And of course, you can have some buy the rumor, sell the news type of trading. So I'd be cautious with that volatility, right around the corner. But there's certainly kind of a roadmap here that's in play that should be. I would encourage. I think there's real opportunity here if we're monitoring this for a potential drive up. But really, what you're looking for is the big move down. All right, guys. Caution in here. Size should be light. If you're going to trade in here ahead of that, keep the size small. Okay. All right. Back to you later.